Warning. This program may contain material of an explicit or graphic nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Broadcasting undead from the B Ward, this is the Post Mortem show. I'm Dom.
And I'm JD. And today, we're going to space.
Yeah.
We're sending Biff to space.
That's right. We're talking about one of my favorite kind of horrors.
Space horror.
Yeah. It's
outer
good.
Space. Beyond the outer limits.
I'm glad we're talking about this today, because I'm angry Dom today.
Angry Dom.
I'm pissed off. I had a shitty week. I got to get fucking back surgery again. I got a bunch of fucking rejections on my music. Fucking dog died at my girlfriend's house. I've been drinking a gallon of water a day and pissing like a fucking racehorse. I'm ready to fucking sit down and make some dick jokes and say fuck a bunch and
we're going to go
talk about space.
To talk about some space horror. We're going out to space.
Yeah.
And Biff has been there and back. That's what's wrong with him.
See,
he's an
from there.
Being.
He's an alien masquerading as a dog.
And you know, people talk a lot of shit about space horror movies. You know,
they do.
And those
space,
people are
it's
like
fucking
jumping
idiots.
the shark,
Yeah.
which is in some cases it's true, but cosmic horror. You know, as H.P. Lovecraft once said,
yeah,
smell like fish, throw the fucker all the way to outer space.
Yeah. Get your ass to Mars. H.P. Schwarzenegger said that.
H.P. Schwarzenegger, as he looked into a three-tittied woman.
Yeah. With his eyes all bulging out.
So we will get to our top 5 space horror movies, but before that, we got a little bit of horror news. Horror news. A California driver was recently ticketed for driving in the carpool lane with a Chucky doll in his passenger seat as a decoy. Over the weekend, the Contra Costa, California Police Department shared a photo of a Chucky doll belted in the front passenger seat of the car, noting that the driver had brought Chucky up to the front seat in the hopes that it would allow her to drive in the carpool lane.
She didn't even put it in a child seat or something like that?
No, and why would it be in the front seat if it was a kid that size? That would get you pulled over
I've
anyway,
never
dumb
driven
bitch.
with children that size.
You know, yeah. So they posted the photo, and it said, "This seriously happened today." This is what the Contra Costa, California Police Department said, with the photo of the Chucky doll in the seat, and they added, "Hilarious, A for effort, and here's your carpool ticket."
Fuck.
Got a little bit of sense of humor.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, when police organizations are talking like, you know, teenagers on their fucking Twitter accounts, you know it must be 2018.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're social media guys. 14-year-old people that live in their mom's basement.
Yeah. Getting paid to handle it for... I wonder if that's, like, really who handles Trump's Twitter. Like, it's just it's not really his Twitter. It's just like some
Managed
fucking...
to get verified.
Some troll in a basement. And Trump's too, like, proud to say it's not me, because that would prove that someone got one over on him.
And he just lets it ride?
Yeah.
I'll just see where this takes us.
It's a nuclear war. All right. So the
Fuck Chucky, by the way.
Yeah?
Fuck Chucky.
Fuck Trump, too.
I'm done with Chucky.
Yeah.
And I'm done with Trump.
Yeah. I never even started with Trump. I never liked that fucking butthole-mouthed orange fuck.
He threw some vicious hands at WrestleMania, though. The worst punches of all time.
Seriously terrible. And if you can't sell a fucking stunner, you don't belong in a ring. All right, so 2018 Sundance Film Festival is officially underway, and Jonas Ackerland's adaptation of the book Lords of Chaos is already making waves. They've officially released the movie poster of it, and it actually looks like the cover of like a shitty black metal album that was made in the 80s.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm real excited for this.
And it's pissed off some of the people that it's actually based on.
Really?
Yeah. So some of the bassist for Mayhem, whose name was Necro Butcher before there was the wrestler Necro Butcher, said every step of the way that he did not want this movie to be made, and now they're like cursing the name of Jonas Ackerland.
Oh, they're gonna burn down his church.
Yeah, for real.
For revenge.
I really like this book. I read this book in 1998, 1999, right when it came out. I worked at Tower Records, and it was in their book section. And I was interested in it because there's a brief chapter that talks about my friend who was murdered. It's a very, very brief section that they just talk about her as an example, so I doubt her story is going to make the movie. Because it seems like the core of this story is based on the story of Mayhem and the black metal church burnings and all
eating
that.
Each other's brains.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see how they portray Varg in this movie.
Uranus,
yeah,
as played by Doug Jones.
Rory Culkin is in this movie. Fucking Macaulay Culkin's brother.
Yeah. Val Kilmer's son too.
Yeah,
right?
Val Kilmer's son and one of the Skarsgårds.
Yeah.
So it's like a 1 degree of separation from an all-star cast.
Yeah, pretty much. The lesser of all the families.
Yeah.
The Stephen Baldwin, if you will.
The Eric Roberts.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Lords of Chaos. Can't wait for that to come out. So, ad infinitum. Infinitum. I don't know how to say that word.
I think it's an infinitum.
But looks like an awesome game.
Okay.
So this game is the first true horror game set in World War One.
Oh.
And it's survival horror. It's not a first-person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really attack. You have to run and hide or you will die.
Okay.
Kind of like the game Outlast.
Right.
It's depicting the horrifying monster stalking soldiers in the trenches of 1910's Europe. Focuses on a lone soldier running through the trenches on the border of no man's land during World War One. Trailer doesn't offer much in regards to plot details or the game's dynamic, but I watched it and it was actually pretty good. It's like very dreary. Reminds me of the part in 12 Monkeys when he comes back to like the war scene, or like parts of like Bride of Reanimator.
Everything's
almost.
just rainy and gray.
With this weird Lovecraftian creature like stalking you through these trenches, and it looks pretty cool. So.
Nice. A couple good movies that are kind of set that way. The Bunker was one that was in a bunker as opposed to a trench, but that sounds cool. And I dig those kind of survival stalk and hide sort of games. You know, I picked up Alien Isolation, and I'm enjoying it. And I really liked Outlast, and Resident Evil 7 had a big element of that. But Resident Evil 7 cock-teased you because they gave you weapons that were completely ineffective.
Yeah.
which really kind of like adds to it, you know?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, like you have to realize that you can't. You might get frustrated though if you kept trying to kill the same monster and you don't realize that you can't kill it.
Yeah. Or, you know, you can kill one monster with 3 clips of ammo, but then there's 2 more behind the next door, and you're like, "Oh fuck, what do I do?"
Yeah,
and that's that's a good concept, and I think it actually adds to a scary element. Like playing Resident Evil 7 the first time through, I would get like sweaty hands and stuff. Like that's how intense it was.
That's like Dead Space.
Yeah,
things jumping out at you all crazy.
Yeah, the first Dead Space got me like that too, and Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the Earth.
Yeah, there's a game called Necrovision that was like this, but it was like a first-person shooter. It wasn't survival horror, which is its own game genre now.
It was kill everything.
Yep, like Doom. But you can see a trailer of Ad Infinitum and updates on Steam Greenlight. So this is somebody's project they're working on. They're trying to raise some more funds, so you guys can check it out on Steam Greenlight.
Nice. So Panos Cosmatos, director I'm very fond of, he made Beyond the Black Rainbow, has a new movie coming out that is also making the film festival circuit at Sundance, starring Nicolas Cage. And it's called Mandy.
I heard a lot about this.
Yeah. So Nicolas Cage stars as Red Miller and Mandy Bloom. They live a peaceful existence in the Shadow Mountains. Cult leader Jeremiah sees Mandy out one day and sends his flock to grab her. His Cenobite road warrior minions, as Bloody Disgusting describes them, grab Red too and leave him to witness her torture. The first half is a harrowing torture of this couple. In some ways, Mandy is more than Jeremiah can handle, and that's satisfying, but ultimately this couple is punished in a red fog-lit hellscape akin to the scenes in Beyond the Black Rainbow. After that, it sounds like it's going to be a revenge film, and they said to keep an eye out for the fire torture scene.
Awesome, yeah.
I'm a fan of Cosmatos' work. He definitely proved his stripes with Beyond the Black Rainbow, which was an excellent movie up to the last 5 minutes.
And Nicolas Cage being crazy.
And
that's what he needs to do.
Yeah.
He needs to stop trying to be an action American white bread guy.
Yeah, and just be the fucking
batshit crazy Nicolas Cage.
The nut job that we know that he is.
That's what he needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see Mom and Dad also.
Yeah. Yeah, this could be Nicolas Cage's year.
Yeah,
where he's a contender.
The year of Cage. And he was in 2 of my Monster Mashups.
Yeah.
So, could be his year, like you said. So, a school district in eastern Iowa is defending its students' First Amendment rights. This is something I want to talk a little bit about because we've talked about, everyone cracking down on us for our screening and trying to get it shut down. This school is defending the rights of an art student at Linn-Mar High School whose artwork display is very controversial. As you can see, I'll show you this little picture.
That's interesting.
It's like a torso with a goat head with a bunch of blood and stuff.
It's kind of very Clive Barker-like.
Very satanic Clive Barker-like. And they say they're not going to take the painting down for a couple of reasons. Constitutional rights, and they want students to have a safe place to express themselves.
Nice.
Up in the art exhibit, still at this high school, it's done from students enrolled in an advanced art class. They worked all semester to create a portfolio. Students got to pick the topic of the portfolio. So in some cases, they're about their family or something that's happened to them. In a note next to this painting, the artist wrote that the artwork was a way to heal after being involved in an abusive relationship, which may just be something that she could say just to make it, or he, I don't know, make it so they don't take the shit down. Or it could be true.
Or it could be completely real.
There's
there's very little in this world more healing than be able to express yourself artistically.
Yeah, I'm going to share the artwork and in our episode art just so people can check it out. So
awesome. Yeah, there's this fucking misnomer out there, and I hate it. I hate it so much that art has to be traditionally pretty. That art has to be fucking seascapes and flowers and butterflies and fucking swans and fucking ballet dancers. That is fucking bullshit.
That could be art.
It is. Could be it absolutely is an aspect of art, but that is not what art is.
And as a listener of this show, I mean, all of our listeners know because they're horror movie fans.
Yeah.
Of course, arts can be dark.
Art can be disgusting. Art can induce revulsion in the person that sees it and still be art. Lucifer Valentine's a perfect example. It's like the idea that all music has to be pretty, so when you hear something that's fucking loud, noisy, that's not music, that's just a bunch of noise. Fuck you! That's someone reaching into themselves and expressing something that normal language can't put words to.
Yeah.
And fuck you if you're so fragile as a human being that you can't handle looking at something ugly and that destroys your world. That's your problem. That's not the artist's problem. The artist is trying to put their world back together by creating ugliness.
You stick to your family circle.
Yeah.
You stick to your fucking family circle. And you know what? Those comics suck.
Yeah. You stick to your Georgia O'Keeffe, and guess what? There's vaginas in there.
There's vaginas in the flowers. Vaginas in the flowers.
Pussy Orchids is our rating system.
All right.
I got one more. Filming has begun on director Joe Berlinger's Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile, which casts, of all people, Zac Efron as Ted Bundy.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That's the movie is told from the perspective of his girlfriend that he was dating through most of the time that he was committing these murders. It also stars John Malkovich as the judge that oversaw his trial.
Man, I thought you were going to say as the girlfriend.
That would be great.
John Malkovich as Ted Bundy's girlfriend.
Malkovich?
Ted, no.
I'm curious to see what this does. This could be a horrible movie, or this could really, really show Zac Efron's chops as an actor.
Well, I'm sure he'll probably do pretty good, and it's cool that he's actually going to do that kind of shit instead of some fucking cookie cutter bullshit.
Yeah, and I got to support him a little bit. He's kind of a local guy. He's from Arroyo Grande, which is just like 20 minutes north of where we are right now, where I'm going to be living soon. And actually, his original agent was the mother of the drummer in my band when I was in high school. So I gotta give him a little bit of props for being a local guy who's making good.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll see what he does. I mean, a lot of people...
We're going to bring him on the show. He'll be on the show next week.
That's right. With Zac Efron, our special guest. a lot of people have to start doing, shitty fucking commercial things before they can really get their feet in. Look at the Beach Boys. I mean, the Beach Boys... musically were creating some of the most advanced vocal harmonies ever recorded, and Brian Wilson was a fucking nut job, and if you listen to some of their later stuff, he was into some real deep, dark shit, hanging out with Charles Manson and shit, but they had to make those pop albums in the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the Beach Boys.
I do too. and the Beatles were the same way. You know, they started out making those pop albums and getting all the little girls to fucking jump up and down and drop their panties, and then they started making weird ass shit because they finally had the money and the clout to do what they wanted.
And our vocal harmonizing band is going to be called the Biff Boys.
The Biff Boys.
Biff Boys of the B Ward.
Derp.
Derp Vibrations. The first album.
I'm picking up derp vibrations. I've got a theremin. We can do the woo.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I ordered a fucking didgeridoo last week.
I saw that
Because I read or I listened to a podcast where they were talking about playing the didgeridoo, the way it works your mouth and your inner face muscles for the circular breathing can help alleviate the effects of sleep apnea. And I've wanted to play didgeridoo like forever, and I've got sleep apnea.
Didgeridoo? How about didgeridoo? Because that's a stupid fucking idea.
Didgeridoo. Didgeridoo you up the ass. I'm excited.
Didgeridoo.
It's coming in the mail. So I'm gonna start a one man.
Huge?
The one that I got is the kind that you learn on, so it's only like 5 feet long.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, they have huge ones that are like 6 feet long, 7 feet long. I need to learn the ropes before I actually play it. But it's all in. Eventually, I'm just going to start a one-man music project that's an 808 drum, a theremin, and a didgeridoo.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Dom, when I said didgeridoo, I believe in you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sorry I said it was a stupid idea. I just wanted to get the pun in.
Right. You didn't wound my soul.
I didn't mean it, Dom.
I understand that you're supportive. And thank God for people like you and Michelle who are supportive. Because you know what the fucking story of my life is?
Don't do it. You can't do it.
No, the fucking story of my life is I'm doing a thing. And there are people out there who could like help me jump up to the next level, but they look at what I'm doing and they're like, that's too weird. That doesn't really fit in with what we're doing. Can't you be more like everything else that's out there? And I say, no, fuck you. I can't be like everything else that's out there. So I go and I do it myself. I fucking spend my time. I spend my money. I make it happen. And they go, oh, that's awesome. Can I have a piece of it? One of these days, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to look at them and I'm going to say, no.
No. But you did say please, so here you go.
I'll say, the only time I'll ever quote Jay-Z on this show ever, I'll say, fuck you, pay me.
All right, fuck you, pay me. The words of Dom.
Yeah. Well, the words of JD or Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, JD, it doesn't matter.
Jay-Z horror. Put like your wrestling face paint on Jay-Z's face.
That's fucking ridiculous. And that's our band, the Biff Boys of the B Word. We would never ever want to we wouldn't have some Jay-Z type of shit. You know what we would have?
Yeah.
We'd have some Charles Manson, Brian Wilson type
That's
of
right. Shit.
With a didgeridoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Garbage dump, oh garbage dump. Why do they call you a garbage dump?
I can hear the phones ringing right now.
Break out the sequins, man. It's going to be huge.
All right, that's it for horror news. We will be back with Dom and JD at the movies. Tease the last episode.
Yeah, first we're going underwater for the movies, then we're going to space for the top 5.
Yes, indeed. We will be back after this. We would like to invite you guys to join the Post Mortem Show Patreon.
That's right. We've asked you for over 100 episodes now through our Amazon link and other things that we do to support our filthy, filthy habit. But now we're asking you to help us help you. And that means help us cram a bunch of weird shit into your brain.
And indeed. And the thing about it is that you're always going to get the same Post-Mortem show you've always got. From week to week, we've been producing a show every week.
Of varying quality.
Varying quality. Varying amounts of sobriety.
Yeah.
But
it's usually...
the fact of the matter is that if you donate to us on Patreon, no matter how small, you're going to get bonus content.
Yeah. We've got all kinds of stuff planned.
We're spending hours and hours with this extra content, with our off-topic. There's a lot of research that goes into that.
We're putting together these off-topic things where we talk about things that interest us that we may touch on the show but don't necessarily have time to go fully in depth on. We're going to be doing creepypastas. We're going to be doing video content with footage from the recording of our show, with sketch comedy, whatever weird shit that bubbles up in our brain. We're just going to diarrhea it out there, and hopefully you'll get it and you'll like it.
Indeed. And the fact is, I don't know why I say indeed so much.
Indeed.
Right I'm the Post Mortem show Funaki. Evil. Anyways, with the Patreon, $1, $5, $10, $20, $50, $100, you're going to get various levels of extra shit, including going to eat dinner with Dom and JD.
Off of Dom and JD.
Off of Dom and JD, where we pay for your meal, we pay for your movie, we sit together.
We cover ourselves in sushi and let you eat it barehanded.
Dom is going to spread his hairy Italian butt cheeks and give you the goods.
That's not how it happens. But we are going to be putting together shirts and stickers and all kinds of other cool physical merch that we're gonna anything that we release, we're gonna kick over to our patrons. That includes our music, JD's band, my various musical projects. If you're our patrons, that's gonna give you access to that right off the bat for free.
You want to see? Speaking of Gigi Allen. You want to see videos of me cutting myself and bleeding everywhere or getting cut by other people? You've came to the right place.
Hey!
Because you're going to get the Best of JD Horror, West Coast Death Matches DVD, included for free, video download.
That's right. We're going to just throw it out there and see what sticks. It's like our fish, except we don't throw it back. We throw it to you, and you catch it, and you consume it. And if you like it, great. And if you don't, then fuck you.
And you know what they say. You can give a man a fish, or you can teach that man to fish.
Yeah. And I'm not sure how that applies to what we're doing here.
Well, that's what Biff told me.
Oh, okay. Listen to Biff.
Anyways, patreon.com, Postmortem Show, Horror Movie Podcast. Search us up. $1 if you're listening to this and you're a fan and you listen to every show. $1 a month. It's not going to make a difference in your life, but it's going to make a difference in the quality of the show and in our life.
Absolutely. It's going to enable us to bring you more content, and maybe one day we could theoretically do this as our actual job and not have to spend 40 plus hours a week whiling away in fucking corporate nonsense when we can just be giving you cool shit.
Thank you guys. Check out the Patreon. PostmortemShow.com.
Let's go down to the movies with Dom and JD, the Blood, Boobies, and Doug Jones. Psychos, monsters, bloody slashes, maniacs, and tits and asses, chainsaws, knives, and facial bashes on Post Mortem. Let's go down to the movies with Dom and JD for some more Doug Jones.
No, Doug Jones. Okay, we're back with Dom and JD at the movies, as you just heard in that little song. And it's Under the Sea edition. Under the sea. Because we have...
I'm a racist crab man!
We have both The Shape of Water and The Lobster.
Yeah.
Lobsters belong in the water.
They do.
And that's what we're going to start out with. I just watched this movie right before you got here.
Really?
I had no time to watch it. We talked about doing at the movies. I went to go see the Penguins game in San Jose. Been on the road for 2 days doing that. And I didn't have a chance to watch my At the Movies movie. But you know what? I stick to my guns. I won't let you down, Dom.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And so I sat through 2 hours of The Lobster.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if I was in the wrong frame of mind or what, but we'll get into The Lobster. So if you haven't heard of this movie, I just reviewed The Killing of the Sacred Deer. Same director. His name is Yorgos Lanthimos.
He's not Greek at all.
Not at all.
Him and Panos Cosmatos don't secretly suck each other off in bathhouses.
And this is 2015, starring Colin Farrell, Rachel Weisz, and John C. Reilly.
Yeah.
The best part of the movie for me.
He was
John
good.
C. Reilly.
Yeah.
The Lobster. Set in a dystopian, fascist future, single people are sent to a hotel where they must find a partner in 45 days or get turned into a wild animal of their choice. Pretty fucking weird.
Yeah, very absurd.
and the chosen animal of David, should he not find a partner, is a lobster.
Because they live for 100 years and they can mate the whole time.
Yeah, they're still virile.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of this movie?
I really liked it.
I did too. I did like it, but 2 hours was too much. When I had to,
that's my one big complaint. Is it did kind of go on.
We say that a lot. A more concise edit is always going to be better than extra fucking minutes.
Yeah.
That's my same complaint about The Killing of Sacred Deer. It was 2 hours as well, and from 15 less minutes, it would have been so much better.
Yeah. There was a point about an hour and 45 minutes into the movie. Like, I tried to put my phone away and, like, really pay attention to it because I knew it was kind of a heavy concept and kind of weird, so I wanted to make sure I got it all. But there was a point where I found myself, like, reaching for it, or I would, like, look over at my DS and be like, I wonder if I can make some levels on Mario Maker while I'm watching this. But I didn't, I resisted.
I was having similar feelings, and especially after a long weekend road trip with the kids.
Yeah.
A lot of beers,
Yeah.
I definitely couldn't get through all 2 hours of it without picking up my phone.
Yeah.
I did pick it up at one point. And then I realized what I was doing, and I said, no.
Slap your own hand.
Can't give our listeners and our patrons at this point now. This is going to be the drop of the Patreon.
That's right.
Episode 101. We should have said that in the horror news, but no, because we have no format.
That's right.
Well, we just kind of bullshit.
We went off on it last episode for 5 minutes.
That's true. So
Patreon
is now live.
Listen to the first 5 minutes of the last episode.
Yeah, and the Patreon is now live, if you guys, and the commercial that you'll be hearing. Yeah. But so this movie's narrated, which I really liked, and you don't meet the narrator till like halfway through the movie. And at first, it was like it reminded me of that Will Ferrell movie, Stranger Than Fiction. Did you get that kind of comparison?
A little bit.
Did you like the narration?
Yeah, I did, and I thought it added because this movie is a dark comedy, and I thought the narration added to the comedic element because something would happen. And then the narrator would narrate what just happened. And usually that's a sign of something kind of hacky and schlocky.
Yeah.
But it was used well in this, and it made me laugh when it happened.
Biff is in this movie. He is.
Yeah, that dog looks a lot like Biff.
Yeah, it was like Biffmer. Combination of Boomer and Biff.
That dog who was actually Colin Farrell's brother.
Yeah. So Colin Farrell's brother is a border collie, just like Biff.
Yep.
And his friend, chronic masturbator, Dewey motherfucking Cox.
Yeah.
John C. Reilly.
Steve Brule.
Yeah, he's pretty
with
awesome.
A lisp. He's got a lisp.
He's got a lisp,
and it's
too.
Great.
And what did he want to be? What animal did he want to be? I can't remember. I just watched this today, and I can't freaking remember.
I can't remember what he wanted to be either.
But there's some like weird plays going on. What was that all about?
It was like public service announcements. Like the whole thing had a very culty feel to it. Because basically what happens is like the single adults are sent to this place called the Hotel. That's like a combination like getaway resort for singles and like detention center for single people.
Yeah, it's where you are put into a box and transformed into an animal. So there's all these weird animals everywhere.
Yeah,
all around this place. People have been transformed. There's peacocks running around and fucking horses and all kinds of shit.
And they never really show how it's done, and they just kind of speculate on how it happens. But like they make them watch these public service announcements about like, this is a man eating by himself, and the guy eats and chokes to death. And then, like, this is a man eating with a woman, and he chokes, and she gives him the Heimlich maneuver. Yeah. My favorite one, though, is this is a woman walking by herself, and the girl walks across the stage, and then the guy walks up behind her and drops his pants and starts humping on her.
Weird simulated rape scene. Yeah. This is what I wrote down in my note about that. Help, weird simulated rape scene.
Yeah. And
Help! Yeah. And it's the worst acting ever.
Yeah, and like they when the guys wake up in the morning, the maid comes in and gets them cleaned up, and then dry humps them just a little bit. Yeah, like just enough to get them hard.
And they can't masturbate. They're not allowed to masturbate at this place.
Yeah, because they're encouraging people to couple at all costs.
Yeah,
and then they send them out on these fucking hunting expeditions because there are people that they call the loners who escaped the hotel and went and lived in the forest, and they go out and they hunt the loners with tranquilizer darts. And then bring the loners back, and they get turned into animals too.
Yeah, it's fucking weird movie.
It's like a weird team building exercise.
So Yorgos Lanthimos really has a style.
Yeah,
I can see a lot of Killing the Sacred Deer in this movie.
Yeah,
and this is a way better concept than the Killing of a Sacred Deer. Mm-hmm. That's just Greek mythology.
Right.
This is like
social commentary.
Is there a fucking Greek myth about turning people into animals?
No, I don't think so. I think this is just his fucking weird imagination.
Yeah, because I don't know how he thought of this shit. Yeah. And that's, we're on some way out shit sometimes. We go off on our tangents and stuff, but This was like, wow, what the fuck was this guy smoking?
He's Greek.
He was smoking euros.
He's eating ambrosia.
Gyros. Gyros?
Euros, yeah.
Euros.
I like this movie, and I figured you would like it because there's a lot of awkward in it.
There is a lot of awkwardness. And
everything
that's my
is
favorite
awkward.
part. Everything is awkward, and then they give the people a child, like a random child that goes with them too.
Yeah. Oh, you're fighting? A child will make it better. This has been proven in society.
Yeah.
And I love the social commentary in it. The whole thing was about how society has this idea that you have to fucking graduate high school, go to college, get married, have a kid. That's what it is. And this is like that taken to the nth degree.
Yeah, that's true. And the one thing I didn't like about it was the dog scene.
Yeah.
I did not like to see, that's my dog too, like my exact dogs that I have, that I love. We might talk a lot about my retarded dog Biff and his giant dick and him being retarded and all this stuff.
But if someone tried to beat him to death, we would beat them to death.
Yes, indeed. And I'm an animal lover, so I did not like that. I did not like to see, I know it was fake, but I don't like to see, especially my actual dog.
Yeah.
It hits home way too hard for me.
I got what he was trying to do because he was trying to show... It was sort of a metaphor for and me having been in a very, very bad abusive marriage at one point in my life. That hit home for me too, about someone basically becoming someone that they're not just to be in that relationship.
And I hated that bitch, man.
Yeah, she was terrible.
Oh, he got a lot of emotion out of me after that. Not just with the dog, but even before that, she's a fucking cunt.
Yeah, and he was effective. It was effective. He definitely made it happen.
Yeah,
and
that's what he was going for. He knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, and maybe he didn't have to show the fucking beaten to death dog. Maybe they could have just implied it, and it would have been better. But I don't know, because they showed the beaten to death dog, and they got the emotive reaction out of me. So
that's true.
Yeah, who knows?
Just the blood on the leg was enough for me.
Yeah,
but I think it's just because I have border collies, and Boomer's been with me. I mean, since before my children were born.
Yeah,
so. My oldest daughter is 9, so that makes Boomer 10.
Yeah.
So,
which means you love him just a little bit more.
Yeah. Love him so much.
One thing that I do want to really comment on though is fucking Colin Farrell's performance.
Both of the same with Killing the Sacred Deer. He stars in that as well. He's Yorgos' go-to guy, apparently.
And I haven't seen Killing of a Sacred Deer yet, but I put his performance sort of on par with Bruce Willis's performance in Death Becomes Her, where you take a guy who's usually known for playing sort of like a hard, man's man character, and then you put him in glasses and a mustache and turn him into a pussy.
Especially at the beginning too. They get to choose whether they want to be classified as, they have to be classified as either heterosexual or homosexual.
And he can't decide.
Which was another social commentary now with all the gender fluid and all, you know what I mean? All the things going on.
And how bisexuality still isn't accepted, even though...
And I think that was another thing they were going here with this, and it takes him a while to decide, and
he's like, well, I had one homosexual experience in college. Can I call myself bisexual? No, that messes with the algorithm.
Yeah, you have to fit in the system.
Yeah, I popped for that when they're like, no, that messes with the algorithm. I'm like, I see what you're doing there.
Yeah, but this is a weird, awkward movie. I think I rated Killing of the Sacred Deer 7.3, which was on par with the IMDb rating of it, the exact same, which is weird, or a strange thing. Usually I'm way off of that, This movie's IMDb is 7.1, which I think is high for a movie like this that's so weird.
Yeah.
But I would say more like 7.5.
Yeah, I gave it 8.5. I really liked it. I'm very interested in seeing Killing of a Sacred Deer now that I've seen this movie. My one big complaint is that it could have been shorter.
So I give it 7.5 Pussy Orchids, and you give it 8.5.
Yep.
Yeah, if it was shorter, I would have given it the 8.5 too. If you knock 15 minutes off of this movie, it's pretty good.
If it was 8.5, I'd have given it a 9.5. If it was shorter, I'd give it a 9.5.
Yeah. So when we do our segment of where we're going to watch movies that we both talk about, Killing the Sacred Deer is going to be one of your movies.
Yeah.
Pull the trigger on that and bank it for when we do that.
Put it in my spank bank.
Put it in your spank bank. So yeah. Check out The Lobster. It's on Amazon Prime streaming right now. So
make sure you've got
Prime. It's free.
A lot of free time.
Yeah, make sure you have 2 hours.
Yeah.
I try to focus on it, and I turn the light off and put the phone away and everything. It's just, after traveling and having a long couple days, I wasn't in the right frame of mind for that, you know?
And it's not the kind of movie that you could turn off and come back to later. You'll forget what happened. You know, because there's so much happening and it's so drawn out, and you know things happen for weird, subtle reasons.
It kind of like reminds me the same as we were talking about like Mother. Like, it's kind of like that, but better to me. Like Mother was awkward in a way that pissed me off. This is awkward in a way that makes me feel like the awkwardness, but not mad.
And you know what I've noticed, like, having watched, you know, Excision with you and watching this and some of the other awkward movies that we like, one of the big tropes of awkwardness in these movies, like one of the things that makes it awkward, is every character says exactly what's on their mind when they're asked, but when left to their own devices, they cover it up. And that's what leads to all of the awkwardness. Like, if you ask someone, what's on your mind? Or what were you doing? Oh, just jerking off behind that tree.
Yeah.
But then everyone who's not been asked the direct question has like the awkward reaction. Well, it's like everyone's autistic.
I think Yorgos Lanthimos, the way he directs his dialogue is what creates this big awkwardness, because everyone speaks in a way that is very unnatural.
Yeah.
Like it's
like
not,
very stunted.
Yeah, like it's you know, the highs and lows of your voice when you're saying a sentence, you know, it's like, I did not do that.
Yeah.
I over there, you know what I mean? It's just weird shit, you know, just it's disjointed, you know? But on purpose. It's not just like bad writing, bad dialogue. It's just the delivery. He has them deliver it in a certain way, and it's his style. Like both movies are the same that way.
Very simplified. Yeah, how they deliver it.
Yep, I'm gonna watch the rest of his movies too. So he's got another fan. I like the awkward. Someone who we both are a fan of. That we were much anticipating this movie, and I teased it last episode when we did our Mortys. I put it at my number 5 because we hadn't rated it yet. Kind of leading.
I hadn't seen it at that point. Yeah,
you hadn't seen it yet, so we didn't want to really talk about it. I just said everyone watch The Shape of Water, written and directed by Guillermo del Toro, and starring the man, the myth, the legend,
the dude,
the one and only man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. I got to have my dues. Baby says, I got to have my dues. Doug Jones.
Yeah. As the fish man.
As the fish
For the
man.
second time and third time in his career.
Sally Hawkins, Octavia Spencer, Richard Jenkins, and Michael Shannon. Michael Shannon
is an evil
He might be my favorite actor. He might be my favorite actor, you know. I love me some Doug Jones, you know, but as far as like an actor, Doug Jones is a great character actor, and I love him. But as far as pure acting, Michael Shannon might be it for me.
He's damn good.
Yeah.
He has a massive range for sure.
He does. And he can be creepy. He can be sympathetic, too. Yeah. It's weird.
He can have meth eyes.
That's a given. So, a top-secret research facility in the 1960s, a lonely janitor forms a unique relationship with an amphibious creature that's being held in captivity.
That's a way to say it. Unique relationship.
Unique relationship. That's the IMDb synopsis of it.
Guar has a song that we're probably going to have to use for our ending song. Do 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 do. Fish fuck.
So from the opening underwater scene to the beginning, the colors and score, it's almost whimsical, like a Tim Burton movie or something like that.
Guillermo del Toro really has this style that I don't even really consider it horror, even when what he does is more geared towards horror. It's more just like phantasmagorical and like a dark fairy tale. You know, everything that he does sort of has that feel to it, where it is definitely otherworldly, but still rooted in the material world.
Yeah, I love Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
I love it. You know what? I don't think it's like necessarily like overly whimsical like Tim Burton. I think that Guillermo del Toro's movies are the story of these characters and what's happening, but like the camera is the eyes of a child.
Absolutely.
You know, like everything is through the eyes of a child almost.
Yeah.
You know, just the visuals and stuff.
Yeah.
The way things are almost like majestic at, you know, in different parts. So.
And the lead actress in this movie, who was a mute girl, was very childlike in the way that she sort of approached the world.
Except for her numerous masturbation scenes.
Well, more like a teenager. But, yeah.
So Eliza is a mute cleaning lady in a super top secret government facility. Her and her friend Zelda are cleaning one day when Michael Shannon, a.k.a. Dr. Strickland, comes in with the delivery of the most top secret sensitive thing in the whole facility, Fishman. Fishman! I love the retro set design in this movie.
Yeah.
It's like a James Bond villain facility.
Yeah, and it also had a feel like that movie City of Lost Children.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's Junot Brothers. It's a French movie. It's got Ron Perlman in it. It's a really good movie.
Ron Perlman in a lot of foreign language movies. You know?
He speaks like 19,000 languages.
It's fucking crazy. Yeah. And he looks like a caveman, but he's very refined.
Yeah.
So Michael Shannon's fucking awesome as the government bad guy. The acting across the board in this movie is great.
Everyone's fantastic.
Everyone is fantastic.
I really liked her best friend, the old gay artist.
Yeah,
like that guy.
Richard Jenkins.
Yeah.
He's a chameleon, man.
Yeah.
So great. Yeah, his character and the whole thing with he touched that guy's hand and he's just so lonely, and she realizes that she's lonely, and then he realizes that the fish is, it's just... I don't want to say a lot about this movie because I know a lot of people haven't seen it yet since it's brand new, but you guys really got to see The Shape of Water. I'm not a sap for romantic kind of movies. This movie is listed as a drama, sci-fi, adventure, romance, horror movie. Like
that about sums it up.
Yeah. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
It's like Creature from the Black Lapoon.
Lapoon.
So you kind of have to...
She likes fish sticks.
She does. He gave her the Long John Silver. Doug Jones and his Long John Silver.
You know what?
Doug Jones probably has like a 14-inch penis.
Yeah, he's a pretty tall dude, so if everything's proportional. And the dude can move. Like, I mean, obviously he's a trained dancer and like body actor, but like, there's that whole dream sequence where she's having the dance number with the fish man.
That's the thing. I could have gone without that
really?
Song and dance number.
Under any other circumstance, I would have hated it, but it was so batshit when it happened that I was like, I like this a lot.
Yeah. I get that, but it just that was too much like Tim Burton-y.
Yeah.
That was too much like whimsical, I get the kid's eyes, seeing through the child's eyes, and I like that, but that was a little too much. That was a little bit too much like... appealing to a wider audience, or you know what I mean? Like Tim Burton. It was Tim Burton. Yeah. To me, when I saw that was like one of the only things about this movie that I was just like, But you really have to suspend your disbelief,
big time,
in this movie about like how does this mute girl get into the secret chamber with this fish man all the time? Bring a record player and play music, give him eggs.
Yeah,
like how she can't do that.
Security there sucks.
Yeah, security sucks in this top secret government facility.
Yeah.
But once you're there, you can go...
Not to mention the spies and everything else.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess as a cleaning lady, like, she would have access to a lot of things, but still.
A record
player, yeah,
a dozen eggs?
Yeah. A bunch of records, fucking Louis Armstrong records and stuff. Yeah, that you do have to suspend it, but it works.
You are so beautiful.
That's Joe Cocker.
It is. That was definitely Joe Cocker there. He even kind of stumbled around.
I know. And it's Louis Armstrong.
I say to myself, oh, what a wonderful world.
I think Joe Cocker is more like Louis Armstrong going through puberty.
He's Louis Armstrong's neighbor, the white guy that grew up in the ghetto with the poor single mom.
Yeah.
He's got that soul too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doug Jones, Fishman. I love this movie. It's got themes of what makes humanity, what makes human. Is it because we all look the same, or as far as humanity, what makes humanity? Racism,
big time.
Vivisection,
homophobia.
There's so many topics in this movie, and I really don't know what to say because I don't want to say too much about the actual plot.
What I want to say is I loved the fact that this movie had so many sequences that were very, very, obviously very difficult to create with the special effects, and they did not cheat with CG.
Yeah.
Like, there was probably some CG involved, but it was so subtle that everything looked natural.
Yeah.
And fucking God love him for doing that.
I gave John the fish fuck sign language.
Yeah, the audience couldn't see that, but there is some fish fuck sign language in that movie. Yeah, it
opens up and then it comes out.
Yeah. I was very torn going into this movie because, like, I wanted to see it. I love Guillermo del Toro, and I should really learn to just not fucking second guess him. Because the other aspect was I don't want to sit there and watch a fucking fish romance,
Oh no, I felt the same way, but I'm like, you know what?
5 minutes in, I was hooked.
And then I realized it got like major awards and shit.
Yeah,
and I don't throw this term out here. I may say this movie's awesome, or this movie kicks ass, or fuck this movie, or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But this is an actual, to me, a beautiful movie.
I think
it's a beautiful work of art.
Yeah, absolutely. And Guillermo del Toro has proven time and time again that he is probably one of the greatest living film directors.
I think so.
Active right now.
Yeah, yeah. And I think he'll go down in history, too.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just because he's still out and active. I mean...
Yeah. Because he can do anything. He can do this weird experimental stuff. He can do fucking big budget, action movies. He can do comic book stuff. Even his worst movie is still a good movie.
You remember that time that Garth Brooks decided he was going to be a pop star?
Yeah, Chris Gaines, yeah.
Yeah, his alter ego.
Yeah.
I think that Peter Jackson and Guillermo del Toro is the same person. Just hear me out. He went to some acting classes. Got that accent developed.
Developed a Spanish accent.
Both of them he has accents.
Yeah.
Two accents.
Yeah. And so when he wants to make shittier movies, he becomes Peter Jackson.
Yeah. Guillermo del Jackson.
But I really, really like this movie. And I dare say that this movie was almost perfect.
I agree. Yeah, I loved it. So
I'm going to give it 10.
10?
I'm going to give it 10 vaginal orchids.
Wow, I don't even have the terrific movie sound effect lined up. But if I did, I would play it right now, and it would be like... Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We won the battle with this movie. I give it a 9. And I could see it being a 10. Like it is to me. I'll bump mine up to 10 with you.
Mm-hmm.
But I did put it at number 5 on my Mortys just because we hadn't even talked about it.
Right.
You hadn't seen it yet. I didn't want to go on and on like we are right now.
Yeah.
And I especially didn't want to even give anything away to you because I wanted you to go into it without thinking. You already knew that I liked it, but like I didn't want to sell you on it too hard,
right.
And
hype it up
see
too much
for yourself. Yeah, because I think it's a movie that's best to go in underwhelmed. And then it will turn you.
Yeah.
You can go and think you're going to hate it, and it's going to turn you right around.
Yeah.
So.
It's a fantastic movie. If you have not seen this movie, go fucking see it. Great special effects, great acting, great directing, great story.
Comedy,
yeah.
Nudity. It's got everything. It's got everything you could want. It's got across the board it's got gore, really good gore.
Oh man, the fingers through the cheek scene.
Yeah. Yeah. And the creature.
Yeah.
The creature effects.
Yeah.
Some of the best we've ever seen.
Absolutely.
Ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Shape of Water. Check it out. Be like water. Flow like water. Like your name is Bruce Lee.
That's right.
All right.
So we've gone underwater. Now we're going to take it up to space.
Yep.
Areas that are kind of similar, if you really think about it.
Yes. That's as we were talking about.
There's actually a conspiracy theory out there that space is water. And that they're lying to us that it's just open space.
It's just ocean?
It's just ocean forever. Like it's part of the flat Earth theory that the Earth is an island floating around in a vast sea of water that just goes forever.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
It absolutely is. But it exists. And now it's in people's brains.
And, we're going to get into this when we get into our space horror movies. But like you said, with the water and space, it is very similar. Isolation. Mm-hmm. Human has to go have an apparatus to breathe in space. Has to have an apparatus in water. It's not your native habitat.
You're out of your element.
Fear. To me, those are the two scariest things when I think about like, oh, this guy's stalking bimbos on a fucking college campus. Yeah. Okay, well, guess what? You can go get a gun and kill it.
Yeah, or you can get in a car and drive away.
Yeah. And this is, you can't escape.
Yeah,
so.
And that's, a lot of people, we mentioned it earlier, that like a lot of people think that when a movie gets set in space is when it jumps the shark. And sometimes it's right, sometimes it's not. But like, really, if you think about it, if you take something scary, what's the only way to make it scarier? Make it inescapable. And how is something inescapable? Fucking either magic or space or water.
Yeah. We will be back. Thank you guys for all your support, sharing our shit, liking our page.
Listening
weekly.
Not suing us
semi-weekly.
Getting semi-hard.
For 30 seconds once.
Yeah.
No matter how long you listen, we still support you. Unless it is just one episode, then fuck you.
Yeah.
You better run. Run for the fucking hills.
Run through the jungle.
That's not what this is about. What this is about is we have now started the official Facebook group of the Post Mortem Show.
Go on Facebook, look up Post Mortem Show Horror Movie Podcast for a chance to share your favorite horror memes with us and occasionally be shit-talked by me.
That's probably accurate.
Yeah, I've already done it once.
Yeah, guys, join the group. We have thousands of listeners to the show. Right now, the group only has about 300 members.
Yeah.
So please add yourself. Please share it. Share it with the world.
Yeah. Just don't say stupid
Let
ass
us
racist
into your
shit.
lives. Let us into your lives.
Yeah. Open
You want to talk
yourself
to
wide.
me?
Open
You wanna talk
yourself to
Dom?
us.
You want to talk to Biff?
We will
soon to
put
be one-eared Biff.
we will put Biff on the computer if that's what you want.
We're gonna have an official event in the group. It's gonna be Facebook Live Q&A with Biff, and I'm just gonna put Biff on Facebook Live, sitting there, and he'll answer all your questions.
Maybe we could do it as like a video chat thing.
Yeah, so that's official Facebook group, Post Mortem Show Horror Movie Podcast. Please join. Please share it with your friends. And we're back with our top 5 outer space horror movies.
Yeah.
I like to say outer space.
Outer.
It makes it sound more like 50s.
Yeah.
Outer space, not just space.
Yeah. Or there's Inner Space with Martin Short.
It is the final frontier. Martin Short, don't get it. Never have.
No, not feeling the short.
Not feeling the short.
You're not a shortomaniac.
Nope, not a short maniac. I just never. Inner space is cool because the whole concept of it and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't really like Dennis Quaid either, but those two together in that movie, it's all right.
It made for an okay movie.
But the whole, what was it, Jiminy Glickett or something?
Yeah, Jiminy Glick.
Jiminy Glick.
That was just
That was
fucking
stupid.
LA sucking
And
itself off in the form of Martin Short.
And even his Saturday Night Live shit, I didn't even care for.
Yeah.
So
I don't even remember any of it.
So fuck you, Martin Short.
With these, I went with movies that were either set in space or on distant planets, but I avoided movies where like aliens come to Earth.
Okay, mine, there's a little bit of both. I think my list has to be in space,
Uh-huh.
but a lot of my honorable mentions are space-related horror movies, to where it could be, an invasion or something like that.
Right.
But I think we're gonna have a lot of crossover.
Maybe. I've got a few
Unless you
weird
went
ones.
way more obscure.
I tried for the most part to go with obscure, and I've got a 0, and my 0 is the most fucking obvious one ever.
Yeah.
But that's why it's 0. But yeah, and my 1 is pretty obvious. But
my list, it's the definitive list to me.
okay.
So if I didn't call any zeros, it's the definitive list. So since this is one of your favorite topics, I'll go ahead and start us off so you can have that glory.
That glory hole.
Yeah, your outer space glory hole.
Alien glory hole. It was like the Sarlacc pit from Star Wars.
Alien parenthesis or alien colon glory hole. That's a new one after Covenant.
Alien colon.
Alien colon. I love it. My number 5 made me a man. Those beautiful, beautiful space vampire breasts.
Yeah.
Those puffy nipples. Matilda May.
Yeah.
Life Force.
Great movie.
Toby Hooper.
Batshit crazy movie.
Batshit crazy. Another movie that could have benefited from a little bit of an edit with some of the...
And then there's the director's cut that's like 3 hours
I
long.
just don't get it. Yeah. Another one that's... It gets a little... It has its little lull in the movie,
Yeah.
but Naked Space Vampire,
Yeah.
VHS, slow motion, pause it, rewind it, I'm done.
Wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Wham bam, thank you, Space Vampire.
Yeah, definitely a classic. My number 5 is a movie called Pandorum.
I've heard of this, and
Great
it came up
movie.
in my research
Yeah.
a lot, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's 2 guys wake up on a spaceship. The rest of the crew is missing or dead, and they don't really have memories, and they have to kind of comb through the ship and figure out what the fuck happened while they're retrieving their memories and getting paranoid and turning on each other. And it was very much like kind of limited storytelling because most of the movie is only 2 characters, though they're on this big spaceship. But it's 2 fucks going completely crazy, and they can't escape each other.
I like that, too, because it's like Cube...
Yeah.
The Circle was
Yeah.
like that too. 9 Dead is another one that's like that.
Yeah.
It's a very underrated movie that you should check out.
I don't think
it's
I've
on
seen
Netflix.
that. Yeah.
I think that's which one was it? 9 Dead or 9 Kill or something like that. But it's like 9 people trapped, like Saw kind of thing.
Right.
People don't know where they are, and Cube, all that shit. you
Yeah,
know?
why are we here? Why is this happening?
Yep.
And it would just give you a very good claustrophobic sense of paranoia. It was very well done.
Yep. And you don't know what anybody's motive is,
Yeah.
And with the fact that you don't know, did they put you here? Is
Yeah.
that person fucking with you, acting
Yeah.
like they don't know what they're into? Or yeah, so it's a good theme. So my number 4 Because everybody should have a friend like me, Dom. Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Starship Troopers is a perfect movie to me. Some people would think it's corny.
It's Paul Verhoeven.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, if you think Starship Troopers is a bad movie, you don't understand Paul Verhoeven.
And the gore is so good. Great practical effects.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Of course, there's some CG bugs.
Yeah.
But I think that those CG bugs are better than a lot of the CG we see nowadays.
They are. Yeah.
You know, better than Alien Covenant.
Better absolutely better than Alien
Xenomorphs
Covenant.
and Alien Covenant,
Yeah.
you know, so.
They could have taken a fucking lesson from old Paul Verhoeven there.
You got Jake Busey. You got Denise Richards looking smoking hot.
Yeah.
Wild Things shows the breast, but in this movie, I think she's hot. Way better. Dina Meyer. Fire crotch.
Yeah.
Stay away, Dom. I know you don't want no part of that.
Allergic to ginger.
And Casper Van Dien
and his 900,000-pound chin.
So, yeah, Starship Troopers, give it a chance if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you have if you're listening to this show.
And if you watched Starship Troopers when it first came out and you didn't like it, watch it now. And watch RoboCop first. And then watch Starship Troopers. And remember, they're made by
RoboCop in space,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah, they're made by the same director, and he's making pretty much the same social commentary with it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. My number 4 is a much maligned film, but I will defend it till the very end, and that is Jason X.
I knew that's what it would be.
I fucking love Jason X. It is stupid, it is cheesy, it is silly, and that's everything that it's supposed to be. And there, I mean, we mentioned, you know, it has my favorite kill of all horror movies,
yep.
And it has another great kill with the sleeping bag scene in the virtual deck. You know, just all the stupid little jokes. Like, it did not take itself seriously at all. And that's what it needed to be.
Yeah. And it's entertaining for what it is.
Exactly.
Not one of my favorites, but
yeah, it's.
I know it was going to be on your list somewhere. I'm just glad it's at least 4, not 1.
Right. It's not the best Friday the 13th movie. It's not the best space horror movie. It's not the best movie.
But it is the best Friday the 13th space horror movie.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Might not be the best Friday the 13th
Yeah.
or the best space, but...
Yeah.
Okay, my number 3 is probably my most controversial pick. But I'm sure, just like Jason X being on your list, you knew when this list was going to come about that I would have Hellraiser Bloodline on it.
Absolutely. I left it
Hellraiser
off
in
my
space.
list because I knew you'd have it.
I love Hellraiser Bloodline. I know people hate it, but it is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's so good. Just give it a chance. I know it's Hellraiser in space. It does get, you know, the ending and the whole, like, the framework. You know how good, like, Body Bags, John Carpenter's Body Bags. The best part about it is the in-between, like the Crypt Keeper style segments.
Right.
The, you know, the end caps on the segments and, you know, your host, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's the worst part of Hellraiser Bloodline. Is how it's told backwards and they're in space and, you know, into the light demon and that whole, you know, that's fucking stupid. But the old part in France was good. The whole story of the Merchant family.
Yeah.
The space aspect of it is not the best part of the movie. It's probably the worst part of the movie, but it's still Hellraiser in space,
Yeah.
goddammit, and it makes the list.
And their taking Hellraiser to space makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, they wanted to open the puzzle box in a place where they thought it could do the least amount of damage.
Yeah.
And
Or why don't they just shoot the fucking box into space
Yeah.
and let some alien open it?
yeah. Or, you know, nobody ever opens it because shoot it into the fucking sun.
If they would have taken it further away from our atmosphere to where it could never come back to Earth and launched it into space,
Yeah.
if in space there's no wind and shit, it would keep going forever in
Yeah.
that direction. So
Exactly.
I know that. I am a man of science.
That's right. You're a professor.
Yes.
And I'm your little buddy. All right. I guess you're the skipper, but whatever.
You can call me Mr. Wizard.
Do you remember that show Dinosaurs?
Yeah.
The Jim
Not the
Henson
Mama.
show? Yeah, Not the
Yeah.
Mama. And they had a show, Mr. Lizard's World, where it was a science guy, and he'd keep blowing up his assistant. Looks like we're going to need another Timmy.
I don't remember that.
It was a great running gag, like in the background of a bunch of episodes.
It's the killed Kenny of dinosaurs.
That's right. My number 3 is a movie that I reviewed on this show many episodes back. It's a pseudo-documentary called Europa Report, and it's a combination of space horror and undersea horror, because they go to the moon Europa, which has water on it, like in real life, and they find things living in the water. So there's the whole space horror of the ship breaking down and them getting stranded out there and having to deal with it, and then trying to land on the planet, and the scientists wanting to do their, be scientists, and they're out there and they may as well fucking get the information and send it back. And then there's fucking sea beasts on Europa.
I need to give it another chance. I know you reviewed it positively, and I tried to watch it, but it was too, I didn't like the cinematography. It seemed like it was filmed like a trailer or like a music video or something when I was first watching it.
It did cut around a lot, but the way that they were trying to convey it was that it's not a found footage movie where someone's walking around with a camera the whole time. It's filmed from the perspective of the documenting cameras on the spaceship, and then edited together into a documentary. So you would have to cut around like that.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, I got about 20 minutes into it, and I think I fell asleep. But I will watch it.
Yeah.
I will. If it makes your number 3, got to check it out.
I think it's still streaming on Netflix right now.
Yeah, it is. That's where I saw it. So, all right, number 2. I wouldn't be surprised if my number 2 and 1 were your 1 and 0.
Okay.
I don't know what you got in your 2, but my number 2 of all time, Event Horizon.
It's my number 1.
Dr. Weir.
Fuck yeah.
So
Where we're
amazing.
going, you don't need eyes to see. It's hell in space.
It's hell in space. It's Hellraiser in space before Hellraiser went to space.
It's more of a Doom movie than the Doom movie.
Was that? Yeah, it is. Was that the same? I think it came out the same year as Hellraiser Bloodline. Either that or like the year after.
Yeah,
or
very
before.
similar. Yeah,
it's almost like they came out. They're companion films.
Yeah.
In my eyes, I can't think of one without thinking of the other.
Yeah,
because it's very Hellraiser.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
Clive Barker in space.
Yeah,
so
lots of
but I don't
skinny
think
and
one is a rip off of the other.
No, it was just sort of on the same wavelength. Very well done. I mean, some of the special effects are dated. I would love to see like a 4K release where they go back and kind of spruce up some of the special effects.
Fucking footage that's lost.
Yeah, for real. The stuff that was too violent.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it stayed on the cutting room floor and got swept into the bin.
Yep, director said we'll never see it.
And that's sad. But yeah,
sad.
Event Horizon, great movie. Fucking go back to it if you haven't seen it in a long time. I watch it like once a year. I may go home and watch it tonight.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's got fucking Cowboy Curtis and Dr. Lawrence Fishburne and Sam Neill and Jack Noseworthy. And if you go to my
Jack Noseworthy, what a name.
Yeah.
Noseworthy.
He's worthy of a nose.
Yeah, I guess so.
Getting his eyes all exploded.
Mama?
Yeah. Good pick. Yeah, that's my number 1. So I guess I'll go back to my number 2.
Yeah.
This may also be a controversial pick. A lot of people don't like this movie, but I love this movie, and I love every single movie that it spawned, every single sequel, even the animated versions, and that's Pitch Black.
Really?
Yeah, with Vin Diesel.
I actually put it on my honorable mentions, and I thought you were going to talk shit about it.
No, I love Pitch Black.
The first one is good.
Yeah.
The Riddick and shit is horrible.
I love Riddick. It's a complete deviation. It's Conan in space.
It's a good movie, but you know what? I don't forgive it. You know why? Because that's why it made my honorable mentions, because I like the movie.
Uh-huh.
And I know you like the character. It's the same girl from Silent Hill, right?
No, from Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah. You're talking about Riddick, not Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah, I don't know. No, the Pitch Black.
Okay, yeah, because there's Pitch Black, and there's Chronicles of Riddick, which is Conan in space, and then there's Riddick, which is back to basics.
Yeah.
Did you not see Chronicles of Riddick?
I've only seen Pitch Black, and I tried to watch one of the other ones, and I couldn't do it because it was so fucking stupid.
Okay.
You're like, but I like it.
I like it. Yeah. Oh, no, it's one of those another one of those so stupid I love it movies.
But my main thought, what I was trying to get from my brain to my mouth to your ears, and I fucking botched it. It went off on a tangent. Is I love this movie, but I couldn't make my list because I couldn't forgive it because it brought us Vin Diesel.
You don't like Vin Diesel?
I don't like Vin Diesel.
I love Vin Diesel.
Fuck the Fast and the Furious.
I haven't even seen them, to be honest. I don't care about cars. I like Vin Diesel because Vin Diesel is a nerd that made good.
If your name is Vin Diesel, you should be a porn star, not an actor.
A gay porn star,
yeah.
Specifically. No, Vin Diesel was a fucking nerdy kid from Puerto Rican Italian kid from the streets who liked playing D&D and breakdancing. Have you ever seen the videos of Vin Diesel breakdancing?
Not on my to-do list.
Fucking hilarious. And then he went on to do infomercials for Street Sharks, those toys.
Hey, I'm going to shoot VIN numbers all over your forehead with my big rig.
Yeah, I don't know where he got that name from, but I love Vin Diesel. He's just the nerd's dream come true.
He seemed like he would be a fucking asshole. He seems like a jock, not a nerd.
He's a D&D dude. Like all the tattoos.
That's so weird.
All the tattoos that he had in Triple X were references to his D&D characters.
Wow.
Like he's putting forth.
That's so crazy because I always thought of him as like asshole jock kind of guy.
He's putting forth this image of that to create this character, but it's like a parody of that. Like Vin Diesel is like an Andy Kaufman act. He was Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy. I am Groot. It takes a certain person to be able to do that. And be cool with it. I think Vin Diesel and there was this. So in 2002 or something like that, he released this website where he put himself up as like the poet laureate of Hollywood and had all of like these pictures of him like posing in a poet shirt, like looking all fucking like Fabio with no hair and like this horrible poetry. And the whole thing was just a giant joke of him making fun of himself. Like he's super self-aware.
That's funny. All right, well I'll give him a chance, but he needs to change his name. I don't think he was born Vin Diesel.
No, he's like Vincent fucking something Italian.
That's why you like him.
Yeah.
You fucking mafia.
you dirty, greasy wop dago.
Because he's part of the family, huh?
That's right. I have to like him.
Yeah, you have to.
His real name is Vincent Cagliostro.
Alright, my number 1 is your number 0, and that's Alien.
Yep.
It's gotta be, I knew Event Horizon and Alien would be both of our top 2. I just didn't know that you were going to go to 0.
Yeah. Alien has to be 0 to me because it is the quintessential space movie.
It is, and just the exploration of those pods, everything like that.
Yeah, it's
a survival. One of the first ever like survival horror movies.
Yeah,
to where it was that creature. Of course it's not like a slasher like Michael Myers coming to get you. It's like survival horror to where you cannot fight this thing.
It's a force of nature.
Just like we were talking about with that game, whether you can shoot it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Michael Myers, you can shoot him, he might get up, but you can get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Xenomorph, you ain't got there's nothing you're going to do.
You shoot it, it bleeds on you, you die anyway.
And that's the only thing about... that's why I like Alien more than Aliens. Because Aliens is more of an action sci-fi, and Alien is horror sci-fi. It is true horror. It's a horror movie that has science fiction elements in it, but it's a true fucking horror movie.
Yeah, and the alien in that is mostly like a shape. They do eventually kind of bring it out to where you can see it, but as they lead up to it, it's really just this sort of amorphous thing that represents male rape.
Male rape.
And it's
why does it only male rape?
Oh, that's what Dan O'Bannon, when he wrote it, that's what he was going for. That's why he wanted it to be like subconsciously scary. That's why the first people to get attacked are the men. So that the men in the audience are watching it, they get this sort of subconscious like feeling like, oh, this whole thing is symbolizing rape, like something's being put into me and taken out of me, and it's putting me in this it's putting men in a position.
I
of
never
vulnerability.
thought about it like that.
Yeah, on the Alien Quadrilogy director's cut stuff, there's a really great documentary where Dan O'Bannon talks about that. About how the whole thing is, and that's one of the reasons that he
I'll
really...
have to watch that. I've never watched any Alien documentaries.
He latched onto Geiger's art because Geiger had that weird psychosexual feel to it, where everything kind of felt like it was dicks, even when it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was very intentional for...
And walls look like they're made of like flesh that's fucking...
Yeah, and fetuses kind of and shit.
Yeah. That's cool. I never thought about it that way. And to me, Alien 1 is so great. Aliens, I know a lot of people think that's better than 1. To me, it's not.
I think they're equal. They're just different movies. One's a horror movie and one's an action movie. One's the greatest space horror movie ever made, and one's the greatest space action movie ever made.
Yeah. Well, I would agree with that, but...
And
then the rest of them, fuck them.
I even conceptually like Alien 3. It just had its flaws.
Yeah.
And Alien... and it's funny because I just sung the praises of Junot, who directed City of Lost Children. He also directed Alien Resurrection. But Alien Resurrection's problem wasn't a direction problem; it was a script problem.
To me, okay, so here's the prime example: you take the alien out in the light.
Yep,
that's the Alien Covenant. That's where Alien, the first Alien, to Alien Covenant, polar opposites of how much the alien is shown.
Yeah,
it's much scarier when you don't show it. You get glimpses of it. In Aliens, you see a bunch of more aliens, you see a bunch of shit, and every other movie after that, you see a bunch of fucking... Like, the alien coming out, you just see a tentacle.
Yeah.
Like...
A tail.
Yeah, a tail. And it goes around the wall, and you're like, oh shit. That's why I like Alien Isolation, the game. Like you're saying you like it. I played it a little bit. I like it. It was a little too slow for me.
There's a lot of times where nothing happens in that game.
Yeah, but you're so scared the whole time too. So,
Yeah.
but I like that feeling more than you see the fucking full alien
Right.
charging at you. It's like if you when you're fucking and you come, that's the end, right?
Right.
So if you're gonna come at the beginning and just come throughout the whole thing, then it's not, you know.
I'm always coming.
Just come.
Yeah, so the only way you can do that is if you're Arnold
Consistently
Schwarzenegger.
You know, that's what it basically. That's what it is in the later ones
Yeah.
to me. It's just like, oh yeah,
Well, and
then
also-
it's gratuitous to the fact that you know you only got so much coming to you.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
and
get
also-
it really good. Get it. I'm sorry to keep cutting you off, but get a really good nut going and let it loose once
Tantric style.
instead of tantric style.
It's-
That's how I like my horror. I like tantric horror.
You're like the Sting of horror. and also the thing is, Aliens is a great movie. They show the alien. They
Every breath you take.
they show the alien, but they went through such great pains to make it realistic and scary. Those puppets are the greatest fucking puppets. The greatest fucking puppets. They're the greatest puppets ever made for film. You know, James Cameron really fucking knocked it out of the park with those. And the option was to do it again and spend a whole shitload of money on it, and fail, or make it progressively cheaper. And what they did was make it progressively cheaper, and that cheapens it. You know, I mean, even if you look at like some of the backstage footage of Alien 3, which still had good. I like the idea of it being set on the prison planet, and Ripley being the only woman surrounded by these male convicts, and like that whole aspect of it, and her having the limited amount of time because she knows that she has the queen alien inside of her, and she has to do what she has to do, and then kill herself. And she knows that the whole time, and she's still doing it because she's fucking Ripley. All that stuff was a good idea, but then they cheapened it with the CG aliens.
Yeah.
Or in one part of it, it's literally a fucking dog with the alien costume draped over it running down a hallway.
Yeah, but so this is the reason that Alien, even though Alien and Aliens are so iconic, the franchise and the Xenomorph as a Freddy or a Jason or a Pinhead, it could have been that character. Just keep it to the one.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need more than one of them. If they would have kept it to one, let it and built the franchise around the one alien instead of. I know that there's a bunch of them and there's eggs and shit, and you're gonna have to have more and stuff. But if it was more like a slasher, the way it was, like the stalking of the one alien, and you can't take down the one alien, and it's bleeding acid, and what the fuck, what are we gonna do? As opposed to there's 100 aliens coming at us, and we're just killing them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, what the fuck?
Mowing them down,
They're not.
yeah.
It's not that scary.
Yeah.
At that point, you know.
Yeah, if there was maybe like 5 aliens and the queen, because the queen is what made Aliens.
Yeah.
That was the real fucking monster of that movie, and
Yeah.
everything else was sort of just the lead up to it. So if they'd done it that way, it probably would have been
Or
better
even
too.
if it was just like you only saw the one alien until finally they're chasing it away. They got it, the baby face is making their comeback on the alien.
Yeah.
They got it rocking and reeling.
and then suddenly it's a lumberjack match with all heels.
Yes, and then they chase it around the corner, and here's all these fucking aliens.
Yeah.
And here's the queen.
Yeah, and they got to get out of there. They got to
Yeah.
kill the queen. They got to nuke the planet. That's a good way to do it. And, I actually liked elements of Prometheus, but everything that I liked about Prometheus was that it wasn't an aliens movie.
Yeah.
If Prometheus could have been a good movie in and of itself that still existed in the Aliens universe, and they didn't have to hard tie it to Aliens, and it would have been fine. And then Alien Covenant was the worst movie of last year. And I'll fight you. I'll fight you if you say otherwise.
I don't think it was the worst movie of last year. I don't, because fuck. Yeah, I had some zeros on there.
It's the worst big budget movie of last year.
All right, my honorable mentions are mostly, there might be a little bit of space in there, but it's more space comes home. Things from space. So, Killer Clowns from outer space.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in space, involving aliens. I'm going to make the honorable mentions because it can't qualify for the top 5.
Yeah.
Same with Critters, even though Critters 4 predominantly
Went
in
to space.
space. Yeah. The Thing.
Yeah.
Great fucking space horror,
Cosmic
horror,
horror,
Lovecraftian elements and stuff,
And
but not necessarily is set primarily in space movies.
The Antarctic setting is also that good isolation
It
setting.
is. It's the same thing. You might as well be underwater in space. You're right. So it is kind of like a movie in space that's not in space. The Blob.
Yeah?
I love The Blob. The X-Files movies.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like them, but I did. I really like the X-Files movies. Slither.
Slither!
Bad Taste.
They're aliens, yeah.
They
Alien
live.
fast food company.
Yep. And they live.
Yeah.
It's on Earth, but...
So the only one on my list that you haven't mentioned, and this would have been on my top 5, but it's not a pure horror movie. It just has horror elements, and that's 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't get widely regarded as a horror movie because there's so much other stuff happening in it, but that whole sequence with Dave and HAL 9000, that's a horror fucking story, you know, isolated in space with the computer turning against you, and it's not that the computer's evil, it's just that it's fucking malfunctioned.
And that's the thing is, you know, that's why The Matrix works so well, is the whole theme of machine turning on man's creation turning on itself.
Yeah, for sure.
It's almost like going against God,
Yeah,
or something. You don't do that, you know, and it's just not okay, you know.
Yeah,
gives you those feelings. So I love me some space horror, always will. The problem is, I think it's dead. It's a dead genre. You know why?
What's that?
There's 3 letters. CGI. That's why I can't like it anymore.
Yeah. You know, I'm kicking around an idea for a space horror short story that I won't get too much into while we're on air. But if I manage to knock it out, and I think I'm going to try and write it when I have my back surgery and I'm laid up for 3 months because I'll have time.
We're going to put it on our
and if it's good, we'll put it on our postmortem creepypasta because I think my idea for space horror is unique enough. I did some research today, and I don't think anyone's ever done it before.
Awesome. Looking forward to my voice acting chops.
That's right.
Different characters that all sound like rednecks. Rednecks in space!
And if you want to hear some of our creepypasta, don't forget to check out our Patreon.
Yep, it's on the Patreon. As now this episode is live, so is the Patreon. You're going to get the first ever Postmortem Off Topic. You're going to get Dom's story.
Yeah. Delivery. It's a sort of vampire story, maybe?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not really.
It's
more of a ghoul.
It's a vampire story in my mind, but it's not a vampire story that most people are used to.
Specifically, yeah. And it's really good. We did our reading and narration.
No sparkling, no glitter.
I did the characters. Dom did the narration.
Yeah.
That's what we're at in life.
Yeah.
I'm the characters, you're the narration.
That's about it. So that sums it up.
That's all I got going for me. I don't even do that well.
But you're adequate at it. And that's all that matters.
Yeah. I can do the same redneck voice in different ways.
I don't know, your ghoul voice was pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked your ghoul voice.
Thank you. At first I thought it was jarring you while I was recording it.
It wasn't what I expected, but I rolled with it and I liked it.
I'm sure that when you re-listen to it, you'll think otherwise. But that's live now, in addition to our next Postmortem Off Topic, which I'm not going to say on this show.
Because you got to go to the Patreon.
You got to pay.
And remember, when you go to the Patreon, you're not just giving us money, you're enabling us to create more content to entertain you with.
Exactly. You know, with our show, we have to watch at least 8 movies a month. That is, you know,
that costs money.
Let's say $10 is the cheapest for a new release. You know, that's $80 each.
And we're not about that pirating.
Yeah,
we don't support it. Support your your
Netflix, Amazon, all that kind of stuff, and then our website, hosting, SoundCloud fees, all that shit.
Yeah,
it adds up.
And we want to make little short films. You know, we want to do some sketch comedy. We want to do some offshoot podcast stuff. But all that stuff takes time and takes money. And if we, and we do want to bring that to you, we gotta, it's a little quid pro quo, motherfuckers.
And my kids, they need to eat.
That's right.
They've been knocking on the door this entire broadcast saying, "Daddy, we're hungry. We're hungry, Daddy."
Didn't I just give you some oatmeal?
Working, go away! I'm fucking working in here.
Throwing beer cans at them, thunk right off their head. I gave you oatmeal 3 days ago.
No, that's not true. Allegedly, I gave you oatmeal 3 days ago.
I remember giving you oatmeal 3 days ago.
Yeah, that was 3 years ago. All right, that's it for space horror.
Yeah. So I guess, as H.P. Lovecraft once said, as he loaded up the spaceship with the rocket fuel,
and then walked through a field full of pussy orchids.
Yeah.
Where there's vaginas in the flowers.
If it smells like fish,
throw the fucker back.